Shalom and good day all, this is Tehillim29 back again, this time for an indie comic review. Well, in this indie comic review, I'll be reviewing two comic titles, which you can see here. The first is Berserker Issue 2, and followed by the next one, which is Nuclear Family Issues 2 and 3. So let's get started with Berserker Issue 2. Starting off with the cover, does this cover in any way help show or reflect what is happening within the story? Well, it does in part reflect what is happening in the story, to which I have given the cover a rating of 7 out of 10. So time to move into the internal art for its rating. I'll be showing you stuff around the beginning, middle, and finally the end before I give you the rating for the story. This is some of the art around the beginning. Absolutely amazing. And as you can see, there's quite a bit of dialogue happening, but also some areas where there's not very much dialogue. This is some of the art around the middle. And now we will finally move to the art on the end. And finally, the art around the end. Well, I want to point out one thing. I really enjoyed the art in this issue, including the colouring, and I think it really worked well with this character of the Berserker, who is of course modelled off Keanu Reeves, as we all know, from John Wick, to which I gave the art a rating of 8 out of 10. Now, what of the story? What did the story get in its rating? As you all know, I like to find certain things that stand out to me, that I really enjoy. First of all, the cast. In this issue, we return with the cast of the Berserker, but we actually get a little bit more depth in regards to this Berserker, and also a little bit more depth in regards to his parents, what he knows about his parents, and what he's also sharing with Diana, who is practically his counselor. And I really like that, as it brought more depth to this story than what the first issue actually did. And I'm looking forward to what the next issue will bring. In locations, something else I also enjoy seeing in my stories. Of course, we've got the government facilities, which his discussion is presently happening. Even though it would still be nicer if it was clear, more clear in how it was presented, it didn't really affect the story that much. And the other location, not very clear, but you can make out in text that it took place in early nomad territory. Now, moving on to one of the next things I also enjoy is when are these things taking place in time, and also time period, such as, for example, half an hour away, a day ago, X amount of years ago. Well, the writer did not forget that at all, and a big thanks to Matt Kindt. You could definitely tell it was Matt Kindt's influence. We got an awesome flashback back to 80,000 years ago in it, and there was also a bit of a time transition as well, which you could also see throughout the story, especially when it started to move into earlier modern and present day in regards to the character, including some of the tests that he went through in the past where he is presently now. And that really worked too with the story. So we ended up eventually coming to the present, but we still got flashbacks that led up to the present day to where he is. This is where I gave the story a 7.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move on to Nuclear Family, issues 2 and 3. Alright, as we jump onto Nuclear Family, issues 2 and 3, do these covers help bring out what is actually happening in the story? For the first cover for issue 2, I believe it did actually make it very clear as to how this was actually working with inside the story. So no false advertisement here, very well presented for the story. To which I gave the cover for this particular issue 8 out of 10. For the next issue, issue 3, I felt it sort of missed the mark a bit, but you know what, it's still got a high rating. To which it got a 7 out of 10. Now I'll show you some art, firstly starting off with issue 2. Its beginning, middle and end, and then I'll move on to issue 3 showing its beginning, middle and end. Some art around the beginning, very consistent I must admit, and I really enjoy it, and it's also very consistent in the next issue too. But you'll get to see that when I show it to you. I'll now move on to the middle for this issue. This is the middle. I'll now move on to the end. And this is the end. I'll now move on to issue 3. And then I'll be giving my rating for the art. This is art around the beginning for issue 3. As you can see, that's the main character's kids, his offspring, Henry and Robin. Around the middle. And now finally to move on to the end. And now finally the end. My goodness, I really like this art. And I hope it continues with this consistently, especially with the next upcoming issues. So for the rating for the art, I gave it a direct 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed what was done here. So what about the story? What rating did it get? Well, this rating will go for actually both of these issues. So back to the things that I enjoy. Did we get to see who the cast of characters were? Yes, we did. Chuck McLean and his wife, and also his children, being Henry, also called Hank, and Robin. We also got to meet a couple of new characters as well. Dan being someone who Chuck knew, or Charles knew. And we get the return of Chuck McLean's wife, Linda. So that's really good too. The location, going from issue 2, we get to see the home, and we're starting to understand that what has happened in the previous event has caused, the best way to describe this, a form of anomaly. And it's a very interesting anomaly for a story like this, because you don't really expect something like this to happen. We get the location of Milwaukee. We also get to see like a type of station. And the time where they came from, 1958. Now, due to the anomaly that has happened, they have somehow ended up in the year 1968. And due to this anomaly, these people, to which this family are believed to be communists, but not all things are kosher in regards to the group that have practically come into their house and also taken them hostage. To which I gave this story a 7.5 out of 10. I am looking forward to where this story is going. Stephanie Phillips, I am really enjoying this, and I can't wait until the trade comes out. I can't wait until the trade comes out. Now, until then, please don't forget to hit the like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell for notifications. Until then, let's keep it colourful. And if you've now made it to the end of this video, I hope you have yourself an awesome day.